Now, the amount of resources that exist in a stock is a concept called slack. S-L-A-C-K.
So your pool is called a slack?
The size of your pool is called slack. And this probably a good example, place for an example here. Think of, let's say, your Toyota.
Okay.
Okay? And you're building cars.
Okay.
Now, the cars are moving through an assembly line, and things need to go into the car at certain points, right?
Right.
You need tires, and you need an engine, you need a windshield, and windshield wipers, and all that stuff. Okay. Now, in order to put an engine into a car, the engine has to be there before you put it in, right? No engine doesn't go in the car, big deal, right? Now, your pool of engines is a stock. Okay, so think of a table, it has 3 engines on it. That table is the stock, it's the holding tank.
Got it.
Okay, slack is how many engines you have waiting to
go in. Right. Okay, I get it.
Now, slack is really important because less slack is more efficient. So, would it be good for Toyota to have a table with 100 engines already prepared waiting to be put into a car?
Right, because it's a lot of money that they've already spent.
Exactly.
Got it.
Okay? They're wasting a lot of resources keeping too much slack in their stock. Okay? So they can actually improve their efficiency by decreasing their slack. Okay? Having less engines waiting to be put in cars.
Okay.
And this is actually the foundation of what's sometimes called their Kanban, or just-in-time production system. Toyota became more efficient by looking at the amount of slack in each stock and trying to minimize it as much as possible, so they don't have all of this stuff waiting.
They've got to be really good though, because if they miss it, then it screws up everything.
Bingo. Okay, so you can't decrease your slack too much,
right?
Or else you may have a car waiting on the assembly line without an engine to put in it, right? Okay, so
like if your engine guy gets sick, what do you do?
Exactly, that's a problem.
Okay,
right? So you want your slack to be as small as possible to be more efficient, but not so small that when something unexpected happens, you shut down the entire operation. Okay? So slack is a middle of the road thing. You need to have just enough to be okay, but you don't want to have too much because it's inefficient.
Do you feel like you find that middle way through testing, or what? Okay.
All right. So if if the production line is always stopping because you don't have enough engines,
obviously you need more.
You don't have enough slack. If you always have 100 engines sitting on the table, you have too much.
Makes sense.
Same general rule applies to the size of a checking account versus something like investments, right? You have $1 million sitting in your checking account.
Okay.
Not necessarily earning interest, you can probably move that over to a savings account or a CD or some other way that you can actually make more money.
I get it.
But too little, and you can't pay your rent, which is a bad thing. Okay, so you want your slack to be just enough. Not too little, not too much.
Okay.